It's a Friday night, I just got paid, and the vibe is right. There's a full moon in the sky. See my ladies on the left, got my ballers on the right. The house is packed, so watch this party take flight. Yeah, for tonight, for tonight. Give you a groove that you'll always remember. And the theory is to have a good time. Have a good time. So we can party like this forever. Hey.
I see the DJ threw on your favorite song. So PYT, come out on the floor with me. No wallflowers allowed. Bartender, another round. It's on me, but you gotta get up, get down.
For tonight, give you a groove that you'll always remember. That the theory is to have a good time, or we can party like this forever. Get ready for tonight. Give you a groove that you'll always remember. That the theory is to have a good time, or we can party like this forever.
I know it's almost 2. It don't stop until we're through. Moving, grooving, have no worries. Miss Lady, I'm right here. Let me fill you up right there. She said, baby, do what you want. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Get ready for tonight. Give you a groove that you'll always remember. That the theory is to have a good time, or we can party like this forever. Get ready for tonight. Give you a groove that you'll always remember. That the theory is to have a good time, or we can party like this forever. Hey.
Peace to the famo. It's motherfucking off code. We on the motherfucking next Salon / barbershop talking. The motherfucking topic today is the sisterhood. Exclamation mark. Question mark. Right? We got the famo Contu from Team Osiris. We got from Black Star. We got a Siresh. KK Hype 6. So we just gonna have an open conversation, and y'all can call in. The call-in number is 716-293-7071. The PIN number is 89197. Again, call-in number 716-293-7071. PIN number 89197. Peace to the famo. Y'all here? Peace, peace. What's good, man? So yeah, what's your thoughts on that shit, famo? You know, what comes to your mind when you think about the, the sisterhood? Non-existent. Hey, and no fashion or form, Consul?
Absolutely not.
Mm, mm.
None.
Shit. What?
Very easily manipulated.
Mm. You got any examples that can be showcased? Because you said first non-existent, then you said very easily manipulated. So, like, what are some examples that you could bring to the listening audience and shit about it being easily manipulated, if there's any?
Well, we can look at examples of when you look at brotherhood.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole nother play on words too.
Mm-hmm.
But brotherhood, it transcends cultures, ethnic groups. Brothers can unite, but when it comes to sisterhood, it's under conditions, and usually those conditions are based on the transgressions of men against sisters, and not just a pure sisterhood where 10 sisters can come together and create a movement or move things. I can't even recall in history a group of sisters that were able to be pragmatic in culture.
Hmm.
I can't recall. Of course, I can recreate. We have no record, but I have yet to see that happen.
What? Okay, let's do this then. What would you say to an individual? Play devil's advocate right here. Motherfucker say, "Well, Kansu, what about Black Lives Matter?"
Uh, well, that's more of a that's a publicity stunt, and I haven't seen sisters even united in that. Sisters united in Black Lives Matter at all. I haven't. I haven't
Okay.
seen a group of sisters organized since whenever. I haven't seen it.
Mm, dig it. Roger Spice, what's good, famo?
Hey, how you doing, family? How's it going?
Well, I ain't gonna complain. Same shit, different totally getting ready for the plantation tomorrow. However, the topic tonight rather, is the sisterhood. And how we gonna do this shit? Kansu just gave his thoughts on it. It says the sisterhood, exclamation mark, uh, question mark. So it's open any way you want to interpret that or speak about it. What's your thoughts on the sisterhood?
Well, they all come together on certain things against us, but on board they pretty much dislike each other, but they come together for certain things like that that child support stuff and all that kind of stuff. They all agree, but when it comes to something like if we were trying to form a community, they might be fussing and fighting about that.
Hmm.
There's certain things that they come together on, and they come together a whole lot coming up against men, even if they don't agree with if they don't even like the other sister, they'll come together with against us.
Hmm. Dig it. Dig it. Rush, you there? He might.
Hello. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
What's going on? Peace to the panel.
Peace to the family.
Uh, do I think that there's a sisterhood? I'm gonna say yes.
Hmm.
Um, you know, kind of a little follow up behind what Roger just said. On certain issues, yes, they agree on with each other on, and you know, I'm just saying with the evidence that I'm seeing how times are changing and things of that. I'm gonna just say yes.
Okay. Okay. We have somebody on the line. 571-5793. Who's calling? Who's on the line? 571 5793. Somebody on the call? Well, they might just be listening. KK, you there? KK might be indisposed of right now. What about the motherfucking times when baths specifically, because that's what we centered around. We only bring other fucking females or white women in this shit uh, as need be, right? Um, y'all ever had situations where you're talking to a bath, right? You're talking to her about a bath who she does not know from a can of goddamn paint. However, when you're talking to her about another bath, it's almost like she springs into action and start, on some sisterhood shit. Have y'all ever had that shit happen to y'all?
Oh, oh yeah. Once you see that face and those eyes light up and stuff, you know that you're gonna get it.
Mm-mm. What about you, Consul?
Yeah, you was going in and out. Could you repeat that?
What I was saying was that have you ever been in a situation when you're talking to a bath, maybe about another bath who she doesn't know from a can of paint, right? At all. You're just telling a story, and next thing you know, the so-called sisterhood kicks in, and maybe she'll start defending this other bath, or seems like she's defending this other bath. You ever been in a situation like that?
Yes. Yeah, I've had that happen.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Hmm. That's interesting. I'm in Detroit. Consul is in Chicago. Roger, where you at?
Right on the border of South Carolina and Georgia, Augusta.
He's in South Carolina. Sears in Chicago. I'm gonna go to Sear on this one. You ever had that happen, Sear?
Most definitely have.
Mm. Sears in Chicago. God damn it. I mean, either that means something or it doesn't. You know, you got BAMs from different places on this plantation that white people call America, and yet they're having similar goddamn situations. Now, for me personally, I had the shit happen, and I have a theory on that. And y'all tell me if it don't make no goddamn sense at all, or maybe if it has some merit, right? I think it's kind of a let's see, how can I put it? Um, something that it seems like it's in sisterhood, but it's more selfish in nature. And what I mean by that is the only reason that they may be attempting to take up for, or seemingly take up for, this other bath is because they think that if you see that bath like that, you might be trying to put that shit off on her. Does that make sense, y'all?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Well, what about everybody else? What y'all think? Y'all think that's a sound theory?
They have a sisterhood, going across all kind of levels.
Well, get to the other levels then. Let's talk about the other levels.
It's anything. You could talk about mothers and they jump to defend them and they're not even sure what you're gonna say because you could be starting off saying something like you don't understand and getting to the point where you say, well, I like that person, they're kind of nice, and they'll cut you off before you get there.
Hmm.
Church, anywhere.
Hmm. Give us some examples of the church, how the sisterhood will present itself in the church, or the seemingly sisterhood.
they they control the pastor in so many ways. I've been through the point where you have to set up making the tapes and stuff to sell the services and all that. So I've been right up underneath them, and they control the sermons. They control a lot of the fundraisers with just a bad mood and stuff can swing things.
Hmm. Anybody else got some instances of the so-called sisterhood in a different form than what we're talking about? Kansu, KK, Alshir.
Well, I mean, there's plenty of paths out there that they might be in a relationship with a person, and they might particularly not even like that person's mother. You
Mm.
know, they probably they both probably don't like each other.
Mm.
But if it comes to an instance of something that's uncomfortable or painful, you know, those two people will bond together to make sure that they come to get a benefit towards them. As far as the majority, I'm not saying this is 100% every single person, but I'm just saying in most cases, observing from my own experience, that's what I see.
Mm. Kansu, I saw you come off mute. Go ahead.
And I have, I probably have very little in a poppy field before I see any examples of sisterhood. I have not seen it. Now that doesn't, I don't put blame on the sisterhood. I'm just asking your question.
Hmm.
Observationally, I have not seen a functioning sisterhood at all. I've seen uh, points of relativity. You may have things like socialism come into play when certain social structures are in place, like music. A lot of women do come together for music. Let's say like Beyonce can release a song or something like that.
Hmm.
Women try to unify and things like that. But community activities, social endeavors, for the betterment of the community, unfortunately, no.
Hmm.
I would, I've challenged even the closest friends of mine, and for my evidence, it would be this show. This is, I see one sister, and I haven't heard her yet. Where they at?
Hmm.
They never show up. So, uh, I would love it. I would love to see the Justice League of Women come together. I'm waiting.
The Justice League, huh?
Sisterhood unite on that ass. Wonder Twins activate. Now that's why I kept it ambiguous, Kansu, because there are some people who would say that well, it all comes down to defining what sisterhood is. Some people have different definitions. Some people don't even have definitions, but they have that relativity, like what you just said, right? And they would consider that a sisterhood. We could talk about Black Girls Rock. You know, the goddamn commotion around Lemonade from what's her name, Beyonce.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They would you say?
Mm-hmm.
We could talk about the Bath who was in the Olympics, or she do some shit. She's I don't know what the fuck she does, but some might say that the sisterhood was coming in shitting on her about her goddamn hair weave.
Yeah, yeah. The slut walk.
The slut walk, right?
Or her vernacular. She talks too white.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these kind of things seem to create a false image of sisterhood. I don't see. Like I said, I don't see it, bro. I want to see it. I want it.
Dig it, dig it. Zahar, what's good, famo?
Yo, yo, Yo yo. I'm cool.
Cool, 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 cool. Um,
What are y'all talking about?
we talking about the sisterhood! Exclamation mark! Question mark. So what I mean by that is whatever comes to your mind when you think about the sisterhood in reference to baths. How do you see that manifest or not?
Um, the only time I see it manifested is with break towel women. Otherwise,
Mm,
I don't see it.
going
Not really.
going to that. A lot of people don't know about the boy child shit. Go into that.
That's okay. So there was the men going their own way, which was white men getting tired of white women's ways, and then forming some kind of weird group where they swore off all marriage and dating with white women or women in general. And then black men formed their own version of it, and then black women formed their own version. So it's black women going their own way. Black women who say they don't need a man, or this black men in particular, and it's a mixed smash of lesbians and black feminists who one reason or another, they hate black men and they don't have anything to do with them, and they're seeking their own freedom out on their own whatever stupidness.
Mm, mm, mm. I saw you come off mute, KK. Go in, famo. If you're there.
Pass on me, I'll be back.
Okay, bet that. So yeah, this is interesting right here. This is interesting. On one end, pretty much the only one who says that he doesn't see a functional form of sisterhood. I suspect that could mean that he has his own definition, not unlike most people, and reference point to think about sisterhood, which is Kansu. And then there are other people, other individuals such as myself, that see, let's see, maybe something like a quasi sisterhood, right? And again, for the listening audience, if you want to call in and be a part of the conversation, especially the BAFs, right? You can call 716-293-7071. The PIN number 89197. Again, the number is 716-293-7071. PIN number 89197. Right? So we back to the combo and shit. So Kansu, you there? You still there, Famo?
Yes, sir. What's happening?
Okay, let's kind of go back to where we began with you, right? Um, Now, representative of a sisterhood, what would that look like for you that's not present currently?
I think it would be indicative of just like I think this would would also be indicative of an actual brother, something that is constructive towards uh, creating a justice system that is ethnic based and ethnic centered. Protocol.
Mm,
That's what I would see and view as an actual sisterhood.
mm. Well, let's think about it from this vantage point, Kansu. Is it possible, right, that based on the things that you just said, right, is it possible that what you're talking about is coming from a male's perspective versus a female's perspective?
Yes, it's possible.
Being that I include myself in what you said, I've never read about or really seen that functional sisterhood, and then I had to think to myself, am I thinking about this in the ways of a male on what a brotherhood would be, and kind of superimposing that on females? And we all know that biologically speaking, we don't have the same goals in life.
Yeah, that's right.
I agree.
Well, when you think about it, we do have some functional. I mean, going according to what Constance said is, and how you wording the word functional sisterhood. I mean, we have sorority sisters.
Hmm.
We have things of that nature. Um, at the same time, that's like it's still like what you want to say battle in between underneath that house of that sorority or whatever. It's, spitefulness and revenge and doing things like that. But if you want to really look and say there's no functional sisterhood, I would say those college females that are in a fraternity or sorority, that would be an example.
Good point.
Yeah, that's true. There are small pockets at different levels of sisterhood, but there's no overall ideology of sisterhood amongst Black women in America. Um,
Hmm.
because we're deceased people and Black people are divided on all different spectrums, gender and society, class, economics, religion, ethnicity. So um, it makes it hard for a lot of sisters to feel any kind of sisterhood. Um, I don't even really see a lot of Black women in my neighborhood, and when I do, every so often they'll smile and nod at the very least, but mm, not so much.
Hmm. Anybody else got something to add to that?
We have a lot of stuff like 9 to 5 type things where they like connected for the work day and then they go their separate ways and it's not like a real sisterhood like those like a YWCA type and NAACP type organizations.
Hmm.
But if you anything besides lesbianism and something like that, that's the only sisterhood I really see.
Hmm.
That might not be the
I mean, how would that shit look based on But what we first got to think, if indeed we are projecting male thoughts onto females, like maybe a male quality of a so-called brotherhood or something would be to build and shit, right? To do something constructive. Maybe that's constructive in our eyes, to rally around something that's constructive for the group, right? Um, is it possible that that's something that's not taken into account when it comes to uh, sisterhoods?
on in the TV structure they have one like in like that's just the Reigns or Ryan's or something with the How to Get Away with Murder and all that. All those themes are all um, kind of like anti-family type, and there's a string. It's like a subtone. It kind of like sneaks up on you, but it has the same message underlying.
Mm.
That is a deep thing because all the shows have the same type plot with different characters. The
Um,
Scandal, How to Get Away with Murder, and the other show.
from my perspective, sisterhood would be some sort of organization where they came together to um, support women's issues regarding domestic violence and health issues, trying to get women, maybe forming some kind of a community center for women who suffer from domestic violence, or women getting together to teach some type of health class to help black women get more healthy, because that's a serious issue within the black community. A lot of black women suffer from varying health issues. Teach black women about the dangers of uh, hair processing your hair and hair weaving, that kind of thing. Teaching black women about how to properly raise their children. Teaching black women how to um, care for and love their husbands, that kind of thing. That's what it, in my opinion, that's what a sisterhood or any kind of sisterhood movement would look like.
Hmm.
Do you see evidence? Do you see evidence of that in our community?
Like I said, there are pockets. There are some black women who do teach this. There's an Israelite sister who teaches this, um, but on a whole, no.
Hmm. So you saying you talking about the exceptions?
Well, when he said, "Do you see this?" I said there are small pockets, but on a whole, no, you don't. You don't have this.
Hmm.
Which just goes all back to the overall lack of love and concern black people have for their own people.
Hmm.
No, Zahara, can I ask you a question, right? Because I want to get a back perspective.
Hmm?
Would you
Area being a problem, it's possible.
Yeah, that's interesting in the motherfucker. So like minus one of the last ones that Zahara said, right, when she talked about teaching what she called women to uh how to treat their husbands, right? Is it just me, or mostly all of the things she said was kind of self-centered? It's about self, and it's not really focused on the collective of so-called black people. Am I
No, that's not true. Because with black women, especially black mothers, that information that they use regarding health, regarding home care, they take that to them. They teach that to their children.
they teach that to their children, huh? Hmm. I guess the thing always comes back to, do we see a statistically relevant amount of this these teachings being done in the so-called black communities, and
No,
how does it has it panned out for us?
no, like I said, because you don't really have black women that are united that way. But I said you do see it, some tiny, tiny, tiny amounts. But black women aren't united that way. But um, that is something. I didn't regard it as something that was self-centered because, as I said, everything that is going on in the black community today first started with whatever the person was taught or wasn't taught in the home by their mother or their lack of their mother.
Hmm. Do you think biologically speaking, females in general, right, that selfishness is an aspect of that?
You know,
No.
I think it's an aspect of Western culture, and a lot of black women follow after white women, but I don't think it's an aspect of women's biology.
Hmm. Now I said that because of this, something to think about, right? Females are the only ones to get pregnant, right?
Hmm.
So if a female is pregnant, is she thinking about some other females and how they gonna get some place to stay, some food and whatnot, or is she thinking about self-preservation to make sure that her baby has the best, and in turn she has the best?
Your average woman is thinking about herself.
Okay, so that's the premise that I'm coming from with that. I'm not saying it in the colloquial way that we say it. You know, selfish being all bad. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. But like I said, I see that here in Western culture, but I don't see that, or I didn't see it when I was living in outside of the country.
Mm. Tell the listening audience about your times out of the country that didn't have any white influence.
Um, in Puerto Rico, there was white influence, but it depended on where you were. Like in San Juan, there were a lot of white people, but then when you went into the more rural areas, they stuck to their traditions and they were big on community. The women would gather together for harvest festivals and things to do with the kids and planning different events for the families and stuff like that. And the men would do the planning for different um, extracurricular activities like sporting events and stuff like that. And you saw more community, at least back then. I don't know how it is now. Then um, the mothers would come together to help care for the kids in those little towns. They would plan special events for the kids, and then the men they would, um, you know, uh, set it up and buy all the materials, whatever, and construct the whole thing and all that. Um, so yeah, like I said, I don't think it's a biological issue at all. And from the things that I've seen about Africa, it's not that way over there either.
Seems like
At
it.
least not everywhere.
Is it possible that you might be conflating biology with culture and the influence that culture could have on the things that people do or stray away from that are biological imperatives?
But culture influences biology and vice versa.
Okay, so with that said, do you think that you're doing that, conflating the two to
You can't separate. I mean, in my opinion, you can't separate them.
can't separate them?
No,
So,
because not all women react the same.
So which one comes first? Culture or biological imperatives?
You're born a woman, but how you are taught how to
No one is
be
born
a
a woman. No one is born a woman. Stop that. Let's back up.
huh?
No one is
Oh yeah,
born a woman. Back
sorry,
up.
you're born a female. You're born a female,
Okay.
and you're taught how to be a woman depending on your culture.
Hmm. Okay. So you're first taught how to be a girl, and then you transition into a so-called woman, right? So-called
Depending
girl,
on your
so-called woman, right?
yeah, depending on your culture.
Right. So before that, when you're little, you're not really getting that training, right? And you're just going off of whatever it is the fuck you doing, right?
No, there again, it depends on the culture. Some girls, from a very young age, they're trained in their culture.
What we talking about here? I know we did a
Well,
little
here
trip.
no, here I don't know. The culture is Western, so unless you're consciously teaching your children apart from that, then they're going to be raised with Western culture starting from birth.
Hmm. Hmm. Anybody else got something to add? We got a new caller in. Who is this? What is that? You can't kill me. Are you there? You can't kill me. He might just be listening. Anybody else? Roger, Kansu, KK, Asir.
That's deep to think that a lot of mothers don't get a chance to train their daughters um, how to grow into a woman. I I never really considered that, but it has a big impact on them if they don't have anybody to show them how to be a woman.
Well, this is very interesting because my mother told me about the student she has with a girl she acts out in class. Oh, no, not my mother. This woman, she was giving some kind of lecture, and she was talking about a student she had. With this girl she acts out in class. This is a teenage girl. She would throw fits and literally throw herself on the ground when she didn't get whatever it is that she wanted. And when the teacher reprimanded her, the mother got angry and herself pitched a fit over the issue. Anger, why did you treat my daughter that way? She doesn't deserve to be treated that way. We don't discipline my daughter at home. She does whatever she wants to, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, because she isn't taught anything and you don't know anything. That's why you act that way. Because your mother didn't teach you anything. And
Mm.
there's a article I read a while back about how most black women aren't even able to breastfeed their children because very early on after giving birth, they have to go right back into the workforce. And so the children are raised on formula. And there are studies proving that children who are breastfed are often more empathetic and have more what white people call humanistic qualities than children who are raised on formula. They also have their health is better. They have stronger immune system. Black children, a lot of them are not raised. They were not raised, but they were not breastfed. So this, I think, is a contributing factor to some of black people's behaviors because they're not raised by their mothers a lot of the time, and they're not breastfed, and they don't have the right structure starting out as from an early age.
Hmm. So are these some of the ramifications of BAPS not having a sisterhood or not
I think so.
forming one?
I think so because traditionally in indigenous cultures, they don't people don't live in their separate little houses, you know, off on their own like that. miles away from family and friends and whatever. They're they're much more communal. This is an individualistic society, so that forces black people into a situation that's unnatural to them, where they have to rely on themselves to be able to take care of themselves and their own children. Therefore, forcing black people into a selfish type of behavior where they have to think of themselves because nobody else will.
Hmm. Hmm. Wouldn't this be the environment that we're in right now? Unfortunately, wouldn't this be natural for us?
This current environment,
Yeah.
no. This is what we know because this is what we've been taught. But uh, it's not our, it's not what our ancestors were doing. It's not our true biological nature. And as I said before, biology and culture tend to go hand in hand, I think.
Hmm. So what you're specifically talking about is not necessarily slavery in America. You're talking about antiquity, right? And different parts of the planet.
Antiquity, but even today in indigenous cultures, you have that communal living style that you don't see here.
Hmm.
And you do see some white people copying uh, where they're now doing this thing. It's called attachment parenting, which is takeoff of the model in Africa where women literally have the baby strapped with them from birth up until the age of 3, where they're breastfed up until 3 years old. In the villages, they're breastfed up until the age of 3, and in the town, they're breastfed up until the age of 2. And it's said to increase their brain function and cognitive ability. Um, but you don't see this with many black women here because they most black women have to get right back in the workforce. They need to make the money. Um, so that is a part of our traditional culture that black women are not able to take part in. But white women, a lot of upper class white and upper middle class white women are
Upper white class white women.
upper middle class. I mean, I said upper middle class and upper class white women, liberal types,
Hmm.
and some Republicans too. You see them doing that too in parts of Europe, parts of the states. These white female bloggers, they have these pages all about attachment parenting, organic foods, and all that stuff. And you have some black female bloggers, black mothers who do that. Not a lot.
So, in your view, would you say that you feel it would be more constructive for us to go back to more, for lack of a better term, archaic ways of doing things, right?
I hate that word. Traditional though, yes. Traditional non-Western um, practices.
Hmm. Do you think the environment is conducive for that?
You can make it so, but black people would have to make certain sacrifices that they have yet to have been willing to make.
So dealing with it just as it is versus how we want it to be, right?
Hmm.
Is the environment conducive for that?
Currently, no.
Hmm. Okay.
We're in a
Go ahead, Roger.
we're in a selfish environment. It's always me first, as far as families are concerned.
Hmm.
Hmm. Hmm.
The child comes last.
Hmm.
So I think that was a constructive tidbit of information. What about back to the sisterhood or lack thereof? Are there any other, um, let's see, models that we could talk about that exist amongst us as far as the sisterhood or lack thereof?
Every time our women start a
Well, wouldn't feminism be a sisterhood?
Mm, actually, yes. And I want to chime in on that for a second, right? It seems like that sisterhood is galvanized around one term, woman,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And so this term is a galvanizing term, and yet we still use this shit, and at the same breath talk about we want to do something with each other.
Well, the use of feminist use of the word woman is kind of what's the word, moronic, because the I mean traditionally the word means wife or wife of man. So, but feminism is all about separation from men and self-reliance and everything. Um, but when you look at the issues that feminists tackle, and you look at society and who is in control, the white man at the top of of that pyramid,
The white man.
but you don't see them attacking the white man so much, but they do attack black men mostly, and Hispanic males fairly often. So it's just kind of funny because black men economically are at the bottom of everything, but yet they don't attack the ones who are really, and because they can't, because that's their bread, that's where they get their bread money or whatever the term is.
Right.
So the term feminism is just uh, I think it's a organization that feeds into one's self pride. I think there's no real point to it. There's nothing. I mean, in all these years of the feminist movement being around, there's nothing really that they've done to help uh, benefits women. In anything, actually, I think it has hindered women in a lot of ways.
Well, you say the word women because when remember we got if you say that I say yes because if you go look back I think Yahoo just fired mostly males
Wait,
or
what?
men breaking up.
I didn't hear you said you think who?
I said that I think that feminism is benefiting women if you want to look as far as supremacy, racism, domination, as far as their structure and system and the corporations that keep that alive. I mean, they have an example of Yahoo, terminating most of the men there, and it's a lot of male groups that saying that that's feminist. So, I mean, when you say it don't benefit, I don't think it benefit our females, but as far as their women,
It benefits white women, yes, and
yeah.
Asians, and some Hispanic females. But
So what do you think about womanism? What is that? Is that the correct way to say that?
Yep.
Okay,
it,
because that could be considered a sisterhood as well.
womanism,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Type.
yeah, yeah. I'm trying to see how that would be different though from feminism, because in the mind of a feminist, it's the same thing. They are women. They think that they're women, so they're feminists. But then trannies think that they're women too. So
But
I mean, hell, what are the benefits of being classified as a woman? You know what I'm saying? So you could look that up if you haven't already, Zahara, about so-called womanism. And I agree with the portion that you said. You know, they fancy themselves women within this society, right? However, white women are talking about themselves. It's more selfish. It wasn't really inclusive unless it was just the broad numbers and shit. You know, these motherfuckers are the Trojan horses that we don't really talk about because womanism was something created by BAFs who fancied themselves black women, and they saw that
Okay.
white women didn't.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
I,
Wait a minute.
sorry.
That white women didn't give a fuck about them. And so they tried to branch off and make this, but this shit has all but fallen to the wayside. That's why we don't hear that term, and that shit is foreign as hell to us.
Yeah, I had never heard of that before. So first I was like, say what? But yeah, I see now. Wikipedia says that women is social theory based on racial and gender-based oppression of black women and other women of marginalized groups. But then you have to think of the social definition of woman, and when you see how what the fuck women are regarded in society, or how black females, I should say, actually, sorry, are regarded in society in comparison to white females who are at the top of the pay scale, just under white men, and parallel kind of to Asian women, uh, they don't fit that description.
So that was a breakdown in the sisterhood, right? The seemingly
Yeah.
sisterhood of being galvanized by using this goddamn term. One woman and Baps are still using this shit, right? Can't learn your goddamn lessons. We can't learn our fucking lessons, right? The
Yeah.
sisterhood broke down like bitches, bitch. We ain't talking about y'all, talking about us. And they have gotten gains from this shit, okay? Because like you was speaking about earlier, you know, I don't see it represented like that. I don't see it as a you know, they were wanting to separate from white men. There's no evidence to that. White men bankrolled that shit. Okay,
It
but
was a way for white women to complain about things that are often minute and meaningless in comparison to the issues that black women often face historically and currently. Um, White women felt bored at home. They didn't like having to be housewives. Da 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 da. So they formed the feminist movement. That's pretty much what that was all about.
so you know how I encapsulate feminism as a movement and as a sisterhood, I would say it is Western woman culture or Western woman biology politicized.
The term of sisterhood doesn't really exist in Africa, but the ideology that I presented does, but they don't call it that. It's just community.
Hmm. You taking us all over the map again, Jahar. God damn it, we right here. Okay.
Even here though, when I was living in LA, but in this area that's largely Hispanic, you saw that because they brought that culture with them, and they portrayed that culture there in that community. So it was, you had all one house had all the kids from the whole neighborhood in this one house, and every couple of weeks it changed houses. One week they're at one Sanchez's house, the next week they're at Lopez's house, and so on and so forth. And that was just the way it was. But they all watched each other's kids, and everything was relatively safe. You know,
Absolutely. So you know that I don't. Me personally, I've seen no constructive nature in. Let's see. What can I say? Comparing us to other groups because we have transgenerational things that have happened then that ripple and reverberate in us right now. So even if we were
it's
to attempt, wait a minute,
sorry.
even if we were to attempt to model ourselves after other groups, that's still what that's like putting a goddamn a band-aid on a shotgun wound. still gonna bleed the fuck out.
I mean, we did have this in some black neighborhoods. My mother spoke about it. When, the neighborhood my grandparents were raised in, it was like that. But then integration happened. So,
Integration. Mm.
so that area now is slum, and you have a lot of drugs that run through there. But it used to be a family neighborhood, and the kids would all come out and play in the street. And one kid would share his bike with all the kids in the neighborhood, and they would all jump on the handlebars and everything, and they'd go to one kid's house and they'd play there, and then they'd jump over to the next kid's house and play over there. They'd have dinner with one parent, and it was just normal that way, and they all watched each other's kids. Um, but like I said, then integration happened and everything fell apart.
Hmm. We do have some people who suggest that the time frame in which you're talking about, as far as your mother and whatnot, that uh, the galvanizing of people under the term called woman, or the term or the title woman, was on the heels of integration. But before that,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't like that, because shit like that brought in or ushered in things like welfare,
Mm-hmm.
and that's really the crux of a lot of the shit or the dysfunction that we see amongst our families. So says a lot of individuals who study that shit more so than us.
Mm-hmm.
That this
Integration
that
was
that this
what I would. Hmm? Are you there?
I'm waiting. We waiting for you. We waiting to hear
Oh,
you.
I was just gonna say the integration was like a bomb to the black community, and we haven't been the same ever since. Like a nuclear bomb.
Mm, okay. So to get back to what I was suggesting, and it might be inaccurate. It's something to think about and some for people to look up if they want to. That there's a lot of eyes around the time frame that white women and white men put together the welfare state.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
even past integration. And what the ramifications of that shit and how it broke shit up. It created an environment where family structures amongst us, however dilapidated they were, couldn't thrive.
Mm-hmm.
And they
We
did.
became dependent on the system.
Exactly. And they did that through the auspices of sisterhood
Mm-hmm.
and woman. We're
Yep.
women, so we're sisters. No matter what color and all that shit, all that bullshit that we talking about.
Yep.
But we can't talk about that, right, Roger?
Nah, because they'll beat us up for that.
Mm, mm. Gonna get beat up for that.
Um, or even I've had run-ins with black feminists and talk about we need to get together to put an end to the violence. But what about the violence that they're helping white women perpetuate against black men? They don't talk about that though. And it goes around in circles, talking arguing actually with them because they have a mindset. What I would call it is their mindset is integrated.
Now, how is this sisterhood of so-called black feminism? How would they even perpetuate bringing an end to violence against BAMs? How does that look? You know what I'm saying? What
They
is it?
don't
Bringing
think
in
about that
this?
at all.
Well, maybe,
They
well,
don't want it to happen.
we
I
we
mean,
we
I've
can look at it
seen
now.
some I've seen some Black Lives Matter women who are also feminists and talking about police brutality, da da da. But then it just there's a lot of cognitive dissonance because you call yourself you subscribe or ascribe to a title used by white women who hate black women, but then you talk about Black Lives Matter. Feminism pushes Planned Parenthood and abortion quite heavily. That's one of the major causes of the loss of black lives, but they don't talk about that. That would be a violation to their women's rights. Um, um, a lot of black feminists were upset at Hillary's loss because they viewed Hillary as some kind of female white Jesus. But Hillary doesn't care anything about black women. She's never really come out and spoken about anything in favor of black people in general or black women in specifically.
So it was all around the woman shit, huh? Sisterhood.
Hmm.
That's
But yet
interesting.
they still buy into this ideology. Well, I'm a woman. Well, I'm a female, and because I don't think a lot of people know the difference between the term male and female and man and woman. I think because I didn't until I started really thinking about it and talking to you, Minister Off Code, and it dawned on me. Oh yeah, they are two completely different things. One's biology, the other one's society.
Hmm. Absolutely. You know what? First, we gonna take a commercial break and get some goddamn advertisement minutes to the famo or Seal Rush over at Black Star. We'll be right motherfucking back. And we back like a motherfucker. Now, what were you saying, Zara?
Um, I was just talking about how it's important to understand the differences for black females. I gotta remember to use that BAPS to remember that or to learn the differences between the term woman and female and that they're not the same. You can't be a black woman in this paradigm. And the way the system is constructed is impossible.
Hmm.
And by doing that, you think that is with a possibility that those sisters that do understand that break a bond with a certain type of people and maybe create a new bond with each other.
It's a start. It's a start.
Right.
Because a lot of our behaviors have to do with certain ideologies that we've adopted living in the system. I know you got something to say about this, Kay. Where you at? I'm here.
Go ahead. Speak on the sisterhood topic from whatever vantage point you want to take it, okay?
they come together to get something. I was saying that to my mom the other day because there was this so-called Jamaican bath that went off on her at the hospital that she works with. She works with mothers and babies, unfortunately. And this bath, my mom went there to go help or take her vital signs, and she gave my mom a hard time. And her friend was there, and she was holding the baby, and she was laughing at this bath carrying on, and the things that she was saying and stuff like that. And
Wait a minute. Hold, wait. First of all, you're not gonna speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
say that quote unquote women, she don't like women and she don't keep them as company. This time around, she was one specific, and she said she don't like black um, women and that they're evil. And I said there's no such thing as sisterhood amongst females. The only time they get together is if them hoes are looking for something that they all want. And once they get it, they drop their hands and they go separate ways. And I have to say from experience, I stay away from females. I don't trust them, and I keep my distance because it doesn't matter if you want to help or not. Um, they're very conniving and can't be trusted. And I even seen so-called mothers, they're supposed to be nurturing the mother. There's not even no so-called sisterhood amongst, or mother and daughterhood amongst mothers and daughters. I've seen plenty of fathers kick their daughters out over some boyfriend, some raggedy guy that they let fuck, um, just because he's probably looking at the daughter, wants the daughter, is molesting or raping or whatever. They will choose the guy over their children. They selfish in those ways too. I heard stories of guys having boyfriends or guys over that were like rapists and pedophiles, and I'd be touching on the son, daughter, cat, mouse, fucking everybody. And
Yep.
they would keep him around just because they weren't satisfied. They wanted me. You see them precious, but she was like, I want somebody to love me. She was crying and stuff like that. And she didn't care that her daughter was, raped and given HIV, and she didn't care about any of that. I've seen that happen plenty of times where females will go as far as killing their own children just to satisfy their own needs of having a partner, fulfilling their so-called womanhood of sexual escapades and the things that they'll do. But yet in society they're deemed as these naive, gullible, gentle creatures. And I think it's much easier for females to lie and get away with things for the sake of no one taking. They're just underestimated, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
They're underestimated in society, even though a lot of the things that happen in this society always has to do with a female. Whether somebody's killing somebody for some pussy, stealing for pussy, shepherding for pussy, even if they don't know the female. They see her. It kind of reminds me of that situation where that bath had hit that bam on the train and he pimp slapped the shit out of her. And then this male, it wasn't a bam, it was some, I think it was a white guy, or some sort of hybrid. And he jumped up on the band to beat him up. And this guy clearly was in the wrong because she had hit him.
Mm-hmm.
So yet he jumped up, put himself in jeopardy, about to fight this guy. You clearly saw that the female was out of hand. That's not even someone you probably bring home to your mother because of her behavior. So he jumped up because he said, "Oh, that's what it was."
Right. Right. I remember that video. Okay.
He slapped the shit out of her. I was like, "Yes,
Eight ball.
Uh huh.
yeah, the 8 ball jacket that his son gave him."
Man, slapped the fire out of her ass. Like, wait a minute. There was a lot of commentary around that shit on Facebook as well. Same sentiments the K is talking about you're not supposed to hit a quote unquote woman. No matter what she does. You know, I thought it was interesting. I thought it was interesting that they looked right past what Kay was talking about. That she was out of order like a motherfucker. She went and slapped this motherfucker.
Yeah, something similar happened a few months back. This Bam and his wife Abaf, they were at some outdoor music festival, and they were playing hacky sack with I don't know who, but this for some reason this white woman she started a fight with the Bam, and then she spit in his face. She was calling him a nigger, and then she spit in his face, and some of it got on his wife. And then he was like, "I can't believe you spit on me," and he was angry, of course. And she was like, "What are you gonna do? You can't do anything." He's like, "Because I'm a woman and you can't hit women," and that doesn't really surprise me. But she had two friends with her that were Baps, and they didn't say anything about him spitting on him, about her spitting on him, or anything, because they had that white friend, and they were women, or they regarded themselves as women, and they didn't
Sisterhood.
even bother to care that some of that white woman's spit got off his wife, who is in their from their perspective would also be a woman, and that she was calling him and all of them black people niggers.
Hmm. I may be a nigger, white woman, but I'm your sister. Okay?
Yep.
Because we're women. So I don't know what the fuck to do right now. Oh,
they
man.
they stood there and they were arguing with him, and then the thing was posted on social media. But it's just ridiculous because white women historically have hated black women. One, because during slavery, their white husbands were lusting after Babs. I mean, in you know, during slavery, and then they were lusting after the Bams, and they hated seeing Bams with their Babs. So, I mean, that started kind of then, and just it's always been like I was watching this video earlier from Cynthia G, and there's this thing. This black man, he posted a picture of his daughter. She's mixed. The mother's white, and he had gotten her hair done in braids. And he posted a picture of it to the mother. And the mother, she didn't like it. She felt it was too black. She didn't want her daughter to have hair that made her look too black. She didn't like that anything to do with that. And the Bam, he was just constantly arguing back and forth with her about what's wrong with it. It's not too black. Da da da. And because she hates black women, she said she doesn't regard her daughter as a black girl. She regards her as a white girl. She doesn't look black to her, she said. She regards her as white. She wants her to have white hair. She said why didn't he get her hair done in French braids or French braid? Um, so that the cognitive dissonance with that band was one issue, but that white woman's attitude towards her black child is going to be a major issue when she becomes a woman, quote quote, because she's going to be raised by this white woman who is going to teach her that blackness is that, and that's the way they are. That's the way they've always been. They like to pretend they're your friends as long as you're following along with whatever they're doing.
Yep.
That's how it was with my white friends when I had white female friends.
The moment you stop, the moment they attack.
The moment that you stop, the moment that I woke up, all of a sudden, poof, they're gone.
We out. Out. I saw you had your mic on unmute, Resh. Go ahead. Oh, sure. You there? Well, you know what? It's an interesting conversation about the so-called sisterhood or lack thereof. Maybe we can leave this for the famo to consider. And God damn it, after what Zahara said, it's like,
Wait a minute. Hold, wait. First of all, you're not gonna speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
whatever, Kevin. We about to wrap this motherfucking salon slash barbershop talk up. We appreciate the famo coming out and listening. Appreciate the panel, Seal Rush, KK Hype 6, Roger Spice, Zahara, and myself. And we going to come back at y'all next time with another salon slash barbershop motherfucking talk. Peace.
Peace.
That was fucked up. Wait a minute. That didn't go right. All right. We out.